Hi, so I made a relatively simple generator for making rockwork, which looks similar to what Phantasialand used for Klugheim and Taron. And let me show you roughly how it works. So I won't show the geometry node setup, but like each step it does. I think that's more easy to understand. So we have this black line here at the bottom. It is a curve, and that will be used to make a mountain shape. So the curve gets generated so that it becomes this huge plane with even subdivisions. That gets distorted so it looks more interesting. Next up, there are some points that get distributed. If we zoom in a bit, you can see these points. And these are randomly placed, but they have minimum distance they need to be apart. And these are used to spawn the basalt columns later on. So the basalt columns are made by a different part of the setup. Oops, this is already quite a lot. They are basically cylinders with just 6 sides. So here are just a few of them. And if there are just a few, it's easier to see. They are, like I said, 6-sided cylinders that are a few meters long. And they get rotated so that they conform to the rock wall mesh underneath. And if I increase the density, you can see we get more and more pillars. And it looks more and more like it does on Taron. Then we have some additional steps, such as randomizing the scale a bit, so each pillar looks a bit more different. Randomizing the rotation a bit, so it's getting a bit more chaotic. And offsetting the positions a bit. Then we have a setup that deforms the pillars so they aren't perfectly straight, look a bit more natural. And we have a thing as well that makes the ends look a bit more rounded off. Next up, there is the material. So let's switch to the render view. And that material is basically just a texture. So it makes it overall darker, but we are still missing UVs, and UVs are calculated in the last step. And they look like this. And if I go into the material now, oops, let's go back to this. There is a few extra steps that calculate that it needs to be brighter at pointy edges or pointy corners, and that just makes the NC a bit brighter, so it looks like, I would say, something similar to what you do in model making, like model train layout making, where you dry brush across a rock, for example, so that the pointy edges are a bit brighter than the rest. And I think this result is overall pretty natural looking. The pillars conform nicely to the rock wall underneath. The only thing I don't like is that they can stick out in certain spots instead of pointing downwards, and I'm not sure how to properly do that yet, but we will see.